So if you have a lot of stamps, like I did, you'll find this really, really overwhelming. So I'm gonna take you right from the beginning. The first thing I would do, if I had it to do over again, would be to choose my containers first. I want to use what I already had because I have pink as an accent color in my scrapbook room, and I have all these cute baskets, and I really want to keep using the baskets. But if I was starting from scratch, I wouldn't recommend them. One, the edges get caught in the weave of the basket. And two, baskets are all different sizes, so then you're trimming different sizes. And a lot of the baskets are wider at the top than they are at the bottom, so you can only go as wide as they are at the bottom. So that's why I wouldn't do it if I was doing it from scratch. I do like this. These are from Michaels. They're called card keepers, and they're perfect for rubber stamps. There's 4 different dividers, and I only had to trim. I'm going to show you what I used to mount them, but I only had to trim. I trimmed them all the same size. There's other things in here that were already done, but these are great and they stack. So I like those.
How many of these do you have?
I have 5 of these, and I have 7 baskets. And the only one that's completely full is my floral. My floral is like...
And so all those things you were saying, all those drawers are now in...
5 of these and 7 baskets, if you can believe it.
That's amazing.
It is.
That is amazing.
It is.
Okay, so how did you do it?
So the first thing I did was I got a bunch of random boxes and containers. This is temporary, so it doesn't matter what they look like. And I just took all my sets and started dividing them into categories. Yellow stickies, decide what categories you want. I divided up all my sets. Now, not everybody would like to do that. Sometimes you want to know who made that stamp or whatever, but for me, it was more about having like items together. So all my floral went in one box, all my Christmas went in another box. I just started going through drawers, divvying things up and throwing them in the boxes. So then I could just grab a box and all my equipment and go sit in front of the TV and watch mindless things like Hallmark movies that you don't have to pay attention the whole time. And I just started peeling stamps off. So yeah, so find your containers first and your categories. January is going to be a great time because a lot of stores do organizational things. Canadian Tire, Bed Bath & Beyond, Michaels, London Drugs all have containers. And if I were starting from scratch, I would get a clear plastic or white plastic bins. I like storing my stamps just in a row. It's just easy to find. And if you don't have time to do this entire project all at once, which you may or may not, depending on what you're doing during COVID, a game changer for me was to do my cards. This was an absolute, I just love this because, you know, a lot of times you need cards at the last minute, and so you don't have to search all over. I've got all my sympathy, get well, etc. together. So I'm just going to randomly pull out. So I just have to flip through. I've got lots of birthday. But for example, so this one is all my hello, thinking of you type stamps, and I just pull that out and away I go. I've got my sympathy and get well together, and it's really, really easy to just pull them out. And then I've got some random ones like the little ones you put out on the outside of the envelope, Happy Mail and stuff. I keep that right in the very front so I can just grab it. Yeah. So that was a game changer for me to do that one first. I use it all the time, and I'm so excited that I did that.
Yeah, a lot more efficient than always having to search for that perfect stamp.
Yeah.
Hundreds of stamp sets that aren't organized. Awesome, yeah.
So I have mixed my acrylic stamps and my rubber stamps together. At first I would do, and it did work out in some of these. It depends on the size of your envelope and how thick they are, but at first I was putting rubber on one side and acrylic on the other of the same storage piece. But sometimes they don't fit in the envelope, so the rubber stamps kind of need their own, depending on the envelope. So I'm going to run you through from start to finish. So if you take a rubber stamp that's mounted on wood, sometimes they will peel off, especially the Stampin' Up! Ones peel really nicely. And you can just peel them off. The older ones, and especially ones that have really thin rubber, are really hard to get off. And so that's when we use undo, or you can use an X-Acto knife, but don't cut yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Been there, done that.
The undo works
really
fast,
well, and this is what it looks like when you're done. So with the Stampin' Up, your foam will still stay attached, and so then you don't need to mount it. So that's really good. But if it does happen to come off or be loose,
or it tears.
Yeah. And I found no matter how hard I pulled, I didn't ruin any rubber. I did, however, ruin foam, which isn't a big deal because I'm going to show you what to do with it after. So yeah, if you pour the undo on and just slide it underneath, your stamp will peel off.
Yeah, you can, if you want, you can try it on that one.
Yeah, let's do one.
Yeah, because this one I did earlier when I first got in here this morning. So, and I did this one. Oh, you have to press it down.
It's child-proof.
There we go.
Or blonde-proof.
Yeah, so the camera is more focusing right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a Facebook Live version.
Yes, sorry. This is Nancy's first time on Facebook Live. But when I mentioned this to her yesterday, she didn't run and go screaming from the building, so I figured that was a good.
See how easy that is?
Yeah.
It just peels right off.
So Nancy doesn't know this, but I'll be bringing in all my wood stamps, and she will do this for me. There are worse jobs to do.
If it's really slow in January,
There you go.
sure, why not? So then you can either leave this on here, depending what you're going to do with your wood blocks, or you can take that off too.
Yeah.
I haven't decided what I'm doing with my wood blocks yet.
Josh wants to know if microwaving them to soften up makes.
I haven't done it, but I have seen the tutorial on that, and this is probably just as quick.
Yeah.
Probably safer too.
Yeah. And then you're not running back and forth from the TV to the microwave.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not getting the smell of the rubber in your kitchen.
Well, yeah,
That's true too, and your husband's not freaking out. What the heck are you making?
Microwaving?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can see how fast that was.
Yeah.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what I would do, and I have Scottish blood, so I want to use every little scrap of this stuff that I can. Besides, when you're doing hundreds of stamps, yeah. So what I did was I took all my stamps, like I do a bunch, I do like 20.
You can open that up and put those on.
Yeah, but what I did first was I took one that I wasn't using, or just, and I lined them up. And I put as many, I rearranged them, I put as many as would fit on. So now I've got that sitting on this one, and then I just peel this off, and I copy what I've just done. So I would use every spare piece that I could. So this one, see if I go this way, then I can fit a smaller stamp in there.
Yeah.
So now those are stuck on. You just take your scissors.
And I do recommend scissors like this. Don't use your fussy cutting ones.
No, the Tim Holtz, and if you have the, for those of you who are into Stampin' Up, they had scissors that they recommended. Remember when you had to trim your own stamps?
Yeah.
Those ones work amazing. And you will need Goo Gone or Undo to get all the adhesive off. Every once in a while you have to stop and clean your scissors off
get a little
because they
gummy.
do get really gummy. But nothing a little Goo Gone won't fix.
Yeah.
And this stuff's really sticky, so you don't want to put anything down.
And
near
we do sell the Easy Mount foam. We do sell that here.
Sometimes I will just, let's see, I'm trying to conserve foam.
Yeah.
But if you just,
yeah, and then
once
you can go in and fussy cut the edges
because
off.
that's so sticky. Every time you touch it, you're,
Yeah.
So you can see how fast this is.
And yes, you're right. Watching Hallmark's movies over the holidays or something random that, you know, just kind of noise in the background.
Your favorite movie that you've seen 100 times, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to be watching the screen all the time because you want to be watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's probably like Hallmark movies. I can leave for 10 minutes and come back. I still know what's going on. Because it's, you know, the plots are all similar and, you know, yeah. There's one I highly recommend for the eye candy. Oh my heavens. It's called Forever Christmas, and the male lead character, oh my heavens.
Really?
Hot, hot. Yeah, so you have to catch that one. It's been on once already, but I'm sure it'll be on again. You know, it's like, yeah, the storyline doesn't matter. He's just really, yeah. Poor Glenn, our token male. The store has to put up with all. Okay, so then we use the Easy Mount stamp storage. So what I did with mine is I trimmed mine on my paper. I just used my paper trimmer. And of course, you know that halfway through the hole is half. And you'll have to flip it over and do it again, because it won't, your paper cutter won't cut all the way through, but it probably does like more than 3/4, and you can just flip it over. So then you just peel the back off. And make sure you get all of it. This paper's sticking for some reason on the corner. Must be dry. There. Now that just sticks there.
Now you've made yourself a cling stamp.
Yes.
There you go.
Now, if you cut this in half, these fit perfectly in that card keeper that I just showed you. This way, in the card keeper.
And which size of?
And the largest size of the Avery L, it fits perfectly in there. So at first I wasn't going to bother with the envelopes, but I found that some of my rubber stamps wouldn't stay. The ones I'd put on the Easy Mount, of course, stayed perfectly. But my Stampin' Up! Ones, I didn't need to do that because they were in good condition. If they weren't sticky enough, I used Eileen's tacky glue. The only problem with that is you have to let it sit for us. I do a whole bunch and let them sit while I did some more stuff. And then when it's tacky, you can put it on and it's repositionable.
Oh, okay.
But eventually it dries out and
Yeah.
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 I also tried the Pixie Spray, but I don't remember which stamps I tried it on, so I can't tell you if they're still sticking. I'm pretty sure that works as well.
Okay,
And you don't have to wait, you only have to wait a minute, whereas the glue, it can take
right.
an hour or so.
Now, what do you do if you have a stamp set that has coordinating dies? How do you organize those?
Let me show you. So we also have the magnetic sheets by Crafter's Companion. And again, I cut mine on my paper trimmer, cut it in half, turned it over, cut it again, and it fits perfectly in my baskets. I've got them standing this way. So your dies just stick, because it's magnetic, your dies just stick, and the coordinating stamp I just stuck on the back. And I
Nice.
stick it in my basket like this.
Awesome.
Yeah, love it,
So
love it, love
never searching for the coordinating stamp
it. Exactly.
for the die again, or searching for the die for the coordinating. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend, when you get a whole bunch of these in a basket, it's really, really heavy. And if you have shelves that are on the wall, yeah, I'll tell you that story another time.
So those ones may be better on a low cabinet.
Yes,
or on the floor.
exactly.
So if you see wooden stamps at garage sales and you know about this,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because there are a lot of great stamps, like older stamps that are no longer available that you may pick up at. I've seen bags of them at Value Village and at garage sales. And maybe you're like, I do not want 100 stamps on blocks. Now you can buy them and be able to organize them and make them into a cling stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So sometimes you can just get your finger in there, like especially on the Stampin' Up! Ones. If you see gray foam, it usually peels off quite well. If you see this black or red,
That tends to tear.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's an older one. The Stampin' Up! Ones come off much easier.
Yeah.
But this is an older one, and you just work at it while you're watching TV. But the undo works really, really
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
There.
else was I
Any
gonna
other
tell
tips
you?
and tricks you've learned during your?
Let me just think of what they were now.
So hundreds of stamp sets
Hundreds.
condensed down to 5 plastic containers and 7 baskets.
Yes.
So you can imagine how much space and how much more easier it is to find once it's organized. Now, like Nancy said, it took you 2 months.
About that. No, I wasn't doing it every night, of course.
Yeah, but after 2 months,
Yeah.
everything was organized, and now you pretty much know where you can find everything, which basket. Awesome.
I'm very excited.
So, yes, we did. Yeah, Nancy's wondering if we mentioned undo. Yes, we
Yes.
mentioned the undo, and yes, takes it off the blocks really well. Yeah. Perfect. Well, if you have any other questions, keep them coming. We'll monitor this Facebook Live all day, and Nancy and I can get back to you with any answers. And that's it for us. So have a great day, everyone, and we will be back later this week. Bye.
Bye.